Welcome back. In this video, we are going to talk about the Canvas app and each of its component which we use regularly. So let's start. So we will just go to Power Apps by accessing make.powerapps.com. Once you go to this URL, you will see this landing screen. This is a home screen. By default, we get an option to select blank app, and when we click on this, we get three options. What type of application we want to create: Canvas app, or application based on database which is model driven, or blank website which is portal. So in this course we will be mainly focusing on Canvas app. Now when we using Power Apps, as we know, it helps us for rapid development. And not only that, Power Apps is responsive in nature. That means you can use in mobile, you can use in tablet, you can use in desktop. Now, when we select Dataverse, SharePoint, Excel, in this kind of scenario, the application will get created automatically. That means it will automatically create all the necessary screen. It will automatically do the crude operations, means functionality wise. We will come to this point. Let's first create a blank app so that we can see what type of components are there, what type of controls are there. So we can create either using this, or we can click on application. And when we are in application, if you will click on new app, you will see all those three types. So we will be selecting Canvas app. So I will be giving this here we need to give the application name. I will just give YT training. Okay, and then we will click on create. Here we can select the format, in which format we want in tablet or we want in phone. So this is the phone format, means this kind of skin we will be seeing while developing it. If we select tablet, we will be seeing this kind of screen. Okay, now when I say we can access in phone, tablet or desktop, so if suppose I am selecting tablet, this one, then what is going to happen is like, when you use the same application in phone, you will not see in this format. Okay, if I have developed using tablet, what you will be seeing is like this screen only you will see, and in the landscape mode, not in the portrait mode. Okay, and when I'm selecting phone, then in that case what is going to happen, I in the desktop version also I will be able to see this screen only, and in phone also I will be seeing this phone screen only. Okay, so let's start with the tablet. I will just click on create. Now this is our landing screen, I can say. So by default there will be one screen available. This is when we are creating blank application. Okay, when we will be creating using data source, the things will be different. When we create using data source, here we will see three screens. So we will talk all these things in our upcoming videos. Okay, so first I will be talking about the what are the things available in Canvas app. In Canvas app, you no need to do HTML coding, means we don't need to write any div tag, those kind of things. We don't need to use it. There is a control which we can use and drag it in the screen. Now consider one case. If I just go to make.powerapps, let me open that. So consider this is the application which we want to build, same as how the Power Apps landing page is. Now in that case, if you will see, This is my one of the screen. Okay, this is what this screen does. So this is my area where I need to put all the controls. Now consider I want this as a label in my first screen. Then I will just go here and I will just select text label. So we will discuss each control first, then we will see what is what. So why I am showing you this screen, because currently I will start with the screen. What is screen? So this is nothing but whenever user is coming to a particular, suppose when I log into this make.powerapps.com, what I see these components available here. Means this heading, then here something written about that, then again heading, and then here we have cards. Okay, this is one of the screen where data is available. When I click something on, suppose apps, now things are changed, correct? Then I can say this is my second screen. Then how to create second screen? Here you need to just select on new screen and blank. Okay, now I have two screen. This is my Power Apps landing page screen, and this is my, when I click somewhere and it is redirecting to another page, that you can consider as a second screen. Okay, now each of these screen will have its own contents. It will have its own forms, anything. They will be having, each one of is having its own contents and form. Now coming to the top menus, if you will see here, we have lots of options here. One is like insert. In insert we will be having all type of controls. These controls we can see under insert, as well as the same thing we can see in the left hand side when we click on plus. So these and this, if you will see the icon plus, here also icon is plus, so both are same only. The thing is, wherever you want to access it from, you can access it from here, or you can access it from here. Now let's talk about each control. What is text label? Text label, if suppose you want to show some heading, if suppose means that is some having predefined values. So suppose I'm for, let's consider this example itself. When I click on home, this is something I'm seeing, this is static, correct? This is never going to change, or we are just showing as a text. Then in that case we can use text label. Okay, this edit form is something different. We will talk about this when we will be talking about the data sources. Okay, but I will give you some overview on this. Is like edit form, what happens whenever we are clicking on this, it will create one form, and once we click on this, let me just click on this. See, this is the edit form. Now we don't have any data sources connected to our application. So it will ask what data source you want to select. If suppose I am selecting any of the data source, hey, this is the data source in the right hand side. These are the properties of the edit form, and the same properties are available in the top, this place. Okay, this and this area are same only. Okay, almost same. Now you see this is a data source. This property will say, okay, what data source you want to use. So consider in Excel you have one table. Okay, there four columns are there: name, address, pin code, etc, etc. Okay, now when I select that table, what is going to happen? Automatically the form will build up here. Okay, so this is means, this will help you to reduce your work. You don't need to select each of the control like text label or date picker or text input. one by one and then design the form. You no need to do all those things. When you are clicking on edit form, automatically it will create the form. Okay, so currently I'm deleting this we will see more in detail when we will be creating a data source, means when we are not creating the blank application. Okay, and we will see here also when we will be creating an application from blank. So we will be seeing each of these controls, how it works. Basic controls, not each and every controls, but basic controls. Now, text input. This is nothing but if you want to have one form where you can allow the users to put some text. Okay, for example, there's a login screen. There you put your username, correct? A text box is there. That is this control text input. Okay, vertical gallery. This kind of I can say where you want to show some data. It's not a kind of form, it's just like a table kind of thing, you can say, where you want to show a bunch of data, just like how we show in table. Rectangle is shape. So if you will see, all these comes under popular, means basically these things are getting used regular basis. Okay, so let's don't focus on this, let's talk about input. So these are the things which get used when we are developing any form. So button, when we use button, when we want to show submit button, when we want to show back button, when we want to show cancel button. So in those kind of scenario, it's just a button where when you click, some event will fire and you perform your operations. Text input already we discussed. Pen input in tablet and all you have seen, we can just write from our finger only. Or here also, you if let me just insert this, if I will add here, and now if I play this, I can just write it from my mouse. This is one of the control. This is mostly used when you are building any application where you want the user to sign in the system itself. For that purpose we can use this control. Okay, then coming to the drop down. So a drop down, suppose in any form you want to have one drop down option which will allow you to select a value from the user. So that is for the drop down value. Means consider a set of country you want to show in drop down. So in that case you will show drop down here. Combo box, in this you will have two kind of things. Okay, so let's see first what are the properties of drop down. So see, this is the drop down. You can see values are there. Okay, now see its properties. Items, what does it says? What value you want to bind to this drop down. So basically in items it will be the collection of values you want to show in the drop down when someone clicks on drop down. Okay, value, what kind of value you want to display. Suppose you have some collection, a table where we have name, where we have age. So what you want to show, you want, suppose I selected that table. Now one value I need to show it here, correct? Which one, age or name? So that is the one which we will be seeing it here. Default means by default what value needs to be selected. Display mode means, so these kind of whatever we are seeing, this is all related to the controls which can be editable or which can be in edit mode. So this is what we, so in display mode is like what kind of control it will be, whether it will be in disable mode, means it is not selectable, whether it will be in edit mode, means it is selectable, whether it will be in view mode. So in view mode you see this will look something like this. Okay, so these are the display mode. Then we have visible, whether we want to show this in the form or not. If I will just make it uh, off, it will be not visible in the form. If I will click on, it will be visible. Then what is the position? So consider this is one rectangle Means this is one of the area. Now 40 40 means 40 from top and 40 from left. This is the position. If I do like this, the position of x is getting changed, y is also getting changed, correct? So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. If I make it as suppose uh, position of x as 300, then it will come left. So this is what position do. Size means the size of the control. So if I suppose make it as 32, it becomes small, correct? So let's make it to 328. Like that way we have padding. So there are lots of options are there. These options you will come to know when you will start developing the application. When you do practice on this, then only you will able to understand what all these controls do. These are the controls which are basically used in HTML also. Okay, so I will not keep much time on these controls. This once you will be exploring the things, you will get to know your own. Okay, in advance we have some actions like events. What is going to happen when I will select this drop down? What is going to happen when I change the value of drop down? So, and this data, this is the same thing what we see in properties. Okay, then reset means if suppose I made it as true dynamically, then what is going to happen? It will come to its default default values. Okay, when I say allow empty selection, if I say it as true, that means I can select empty value. It does not need to have any selected value. Okay, so these are the different property, border color and all this you can see. So these are the things we have in the drop down. Okay, here we don't have multi select. Means if suppose I want to select one more than one values, then it will not allow. So in this case, we have another control which is a combo box. This is a combo box. Now what is the difference between this drop down and combo box is, in combo box we can select anything. It will come as a drop down. Apart from that, we can type also. So let me play. Either I can select any of the value as a drop down, or I can type also. Okay, item 1, and it will give me all the values based on my search. Okay, and here not only that, I can select multiple values. So this is the main difference between drop down and combo box. Okay, so let me just remove these controls. Now we talked about button text input combo box. Date picker, we from the name itself we know what is that. So in date picker we will get the calendar. So if I click on this, you see this is the control, and when I click on this control, it will give me a calendar which you can select, click ok, and the value will get selected. And this also have its own properties. Okay, like that way we have list box. Let's see, list box will come in this way. Means sort of list will come and you can select any value from there. This is the list box. Then we have checkbox, means checkbox will come. These are the basic controls which we know. It exists in almost in all the UI parts, correct? The best thing is like you no need to write any code to develop checkbox. For example, in HTML, what we will do for radio button, what we will do, we will create radio buttons. For drop down, what we will do, we will create option tags there, correct? In radio, we will create input tab is equal to radio, input checkbox, input tab is equal to checkbox. We need to write those codes. Here we no need to do. We can just select any value and we can drag and drop wherever we want to place it. and in this way we can design our form based on our needs. Okay, like that way we have toggle, slider, ratings, timer, edit form, display. We will be talking later on. So like that way we have lots of inputs control. Like that way we have display controls, which is only used for the display purpose. For example, text label, HTML text. In HTML text we can write the HTML values. For example, you see I have added this control, so your HTML text here is written. Now see in the properties of HTML text how it is written here. We are using HTML tags. Okay, so like that way we, if we want to use some HTML tags, we want to use some contents and we have designed using HTML tags, we can just put it here. Remember, JavaScript will not work here. Like that way we have layout, vertical gallery, horizontal gallery, flexible height gallery. So each of these controls is having its own meaning, and we will come to know when we use it. Vertical gallery will come in this way. Okay, this is vertical gallery. See, it is in the vertical manner. When I select horizontal gallery, there is something, it will come in this way. You see, everything is in the, means each data is in horizontal way. So that's the different layouts of how data needs to be present. Okay, so just move it. Let me delete it from here. Yeah, so different kinds of layouts are there. Then we have data table also, which is in preview mode. So we have lots of options that we, as it, we will come to know when we using it. Okay, like that way we have media controls, image control, we have camera, we have 3D object, we have measuring camera, barcode scanner. So these are the things which are not used regularly in or in the basic forms, but if you want to use, you can make use of it, and you will know once you know how the basic control works, the same way these controls also works. So it is very easy. Okay, so like that way we have different icons available. Like that way we have different shapes available. Like that way we have different charts available. So lot AI builder is there, so there are lots. Okay, now this is about the insert. Now coming to add data, this is nothing but it's a data source. This and this both are same. If I click on this, it asks me what kind of data source you want to connect your application. Okay, same way this is also the same thing. Okay, see the same options we are getting it. So suppose I want to connect my SharePoint data, so I will just say SharePoint site. So what is the connection name? It will be a SharePoint. We can connect with Google Excel also, Google Sheet also. So whatever data sources are available, most of the connectors are available in the Power Apps. If you want to use SQL, you can connect with SQL. We can connect with MySQL. So there are lots. So I will just use SharePoint. I will select this SharePoint, and it is asking me through which connection I want to access SharePoint. So I will be using my login, the same ID through which I am logged in with this Power Apps. And here I will select my site. So by default it is coming here. If suppose it doesn't come here, you can just put the site URL here, and then you can click on connect. So I will just select this. Now it is asking me which table you want to connect with. So I want to connect with issue tracker. I will just click on connect. See, now it is added. This issue tracker is nothing but one of the data source. Basically this is a SharePoint list, and the SharePoint list, we know it's a kind of table and where you can create a lots of columns. Okay, so this is how we connect with our data source. Now coming to new screen, this is nothing but the same thing which we have seen here, this new screen. Okay, if you will see, the things are same. So whatever we see in the top, all the things are available in the left also. Layout, it says okay, what kind of layout you want to have screen, you want to have the screen. So I will say okay, I want only blank empty screen, nothing will be there. No, I want a split screen, means two containers will be there. No, I want this kind of layout, three containers will be there left, then this and this. No, I want this. So it completely based on you what you want to select. In scenarios we have predefined templates. So when I click on see success message, it is having its own template available. Scrollable, if you want something scrollable. So if suppose the page, the things which you want to put into the screen, you need to make it scrollable, then you can select this one. Similar way, different kinds of templates are there. Okay, now coming to theme. So different kind of themes also available. Let me show you how it works. Currently if you will see, it is blue, correct? Now whenever we are adding any button or any control, for example I will add button, you see what is the color of this button? Blue. So by default it is picking up the theme color. Now if I select different theme, see button color become changed. If I say coral, so this is how the themes work. Whatever controls will be there, it will be it will be using colors based on the theme selection. Later on we can change the color of this. If I want to change the color, I can change. It's changeable. Okay, but by default what it is going to use, the theme whatever we are selected. Okay, now see when I select on forest, because it is having the black background, it become black, but the color of the brand did not change because I change it. I don't want based on theme, I change it, that's the reason it is not picking it up. If I will add another button, it will use based on the theme. Now if I change again, it will not be using the theme. So like that way we can do the things. Background color, background color of the skin what we want. If I click on this, you see the background color of the skin is getting changed. Background image, suppose I want to have one image here, so consider just I will upload one of the image, and it will have that image as a background. Okay, settings, if suppose you want to change the application name, you want to give some description, you want to change application icon. So the or whenever you will be developing an application, you want every 2 minutes automatically the application gets saved. So these kind of things are here. Limitation means when you are connected with any data source, how maximum number of records which can be we get from data source. Here what we define it, it is 500. We can go up to 2000. Okay, so like that way we have lots of options. uh, for example display also, we have what kind of orientation you want, landscape or portrait. This is, you remember when we are creating with the blank, it asks tablet or mobile. So this is what it is. You can select the resolution. So these are the things, the other things which you, once you will go through it, you will come to know. Okay, upcoming feature. So whatever the whatever the features are preview, it will come in this place. Experimental will come in this place, and which is the feature which are retired. For example, there was something called rules was there in the when the power apps was launched. Now this is not getting you, it is retired, but if we want to use, we can enable it. Okay, so it's good. Something which is retired, we should not use it. Okay, so we talked about the screen. Now suppose this is one of the screen where I want to say, uh, okay, I will come to this point. Now, if suppose you are using some collections in the application, you can access it using collections. Right now, it is empty. Now, what is collection? Collection is, you can say, it's a kind of table which is stored in a local variable. Okay, that is what we call collection. It's nothing but it's kind of table. Like that way, we have variables also. Okay, variables high like in JavaScript how we do now int is int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 20. So those kind of things you can consider as a variables, and collections are nothing but it's a table, local table. In data source what we are seeing this, it's a table but not local, it is coming from the data source. In collection we will have lo- local table. Sorry. Now coming to the screen, if we talk about the screen, suppose in this screen I have, let me just delete this. Okay. Now suppose I am creating one login screen. I will just rename it as login screen. Now here what I will have, here I will have label. This will be my label, which will say username. I'll just make it as bold. So in the right hand side I can use the properties and can make it as bold. I can increase the size also to 19. Now I will have text input where I will enter my value. Okay, this is my text input. By default, it will have empty value. Okay. Now I will create another label for password. Now what I will do, I will just copy this and paste it because I have used font size and font weight. If I'm inserting from here, it will have default, but I want to use the same font and same weight. So I no need to again go and change this. So what I will do, I will just copy this and paste it using Control C, Control V. Okay, and I will change this to password. Okay, same way I will just copy this control and paste it here. Okay, in this, if I will show you, we have mode for the text input property. What kind of it will be, single line, multi-line, or password? So I will be using for password, so I will use password. And then I will have one button. Okay, which will say I can change the text of the button from the right hand side, or here also I can select text and I can change from here. So anyway we can change. So I will say login. Okay, now when I logged in, I want to go to different screen where it will say successful. So I will just click on new screen. This is one screen where I have put the things, put the components, put the controls, and now I say whenever I click on login, I want to show user a success message. So I will select scenario. I will just select this success which is already built. This was successfully completed. Okay. This is a new step. This is another screen. This is what I was talking about. This landing screen of the parts. This is one screen. When we click on something, it goes to another screen without refreshing. Correct. This is what is the use of screens. We each screen can have its own control, and if we want to navigate from one screen to a second screen, we can easily navigate. Now in login, how I am going to navigate? So we know each thing is having its events. For example, text box is having on change event. So like that way button is having on select event. So I will just select this button, and in the left hand side top I will search for some events if it is there or not. So I will, because we know okay it's a button so it will be on select. So I will just search for on select first. See, on select is there. By default it is false, means nothing will happen. Now what I want to go, I want to go from one screen to another. What term do we use when we are going from screen to one place to another? We are navigating. What we use? Google navigation. What it does, it navigates from one place to another, correct? So like that, in this login also, what we want to do, we want to navigate. So there is a function called navigate. Okay, this is one function, or you can say method. Now it is asking target. What is our target? Screen 3. Where we want to go? This screen. So this name we need to give it here. Screen 3. Okay. When we use comma, we see other parameters transition. So like that, we suppose dot is there. You want to see what other parameters there. Then again give comma. You will see context. Okay. So each of these parameters is having its own meaning, and all those kind of things. If you stuck in any formula, you can go to Microsoft site. Okay, and there you can learn about each formula. Let me just show you where it is. When I click on home, we will be having one link. And for example, I think this is the one. Let me just open this. Okay, not this one. I believe this will be the one, means where all the formulas are written. Okay, I will share that link in the description. You can check it. So from there you will get all these formulas, and you can know what all these parameter and formula does. Okay. Now I have put the formula like navigate screen 3. I will just play. This button helps you to see the how it will be behaving when it plays in actually when it plays. I mean when user will be using it. So I will just click on preview. So this is how the user will see the screen. Okay. So I will say my username is test, password is da, 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 and I will click on login. See, I navigated from one screen to another screen. And that is the use of screens. Means you can see, you cannot put everything in one screen. If you want, you can just show ahead here also, but it will require a lot of logics. Correct. So instead we can create different screens for each of the module. For login page, different screen. For uh, for suppose messages, I can show in different screen. So this way I can create the things. Okay. So in this video, what we covered the menus which are getting used. We covered the how the screen behaves. Okay, like that way, if you will see, we have this Power Automate. So this is another topic. Power Automate. Power Automate is another product from Microsoft, which helps us to uh, create something, means which helps us to automate the things. If suppose you want to perform some business logic, you can perform it here. Like suppose I clicked on login. Now what I want is like something needs to happen in the backend, but user no need to wait in this Power Apps when they click on login. So those kind of things we can handle in the Power Automate. Suppose we want to send weekly reports to someone, so in that case we can use Power Automate. So in Power Automate also we have different kind of things. So when I will be making video on Power Automate, you will come to know what is Power Automate. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.